So what I mean when I say trust for the purpose of this session is the belief that your best interests are the motivation behind it, or the belief that someone will behave with integrity towards you, which is pretty much the same thing. But that one shows up like with relationships. And what does this have to do with discernment? What does it have to do with discernment? The problem arises because most people who are really good-hearted tend to be more trusting because and subconsciously, we do see the world as a mirror of ourselves. So if you're good-hearted and you know that you have the best interests of others as your motivation, or if you know you're acting from a space of integrity with others, then naturally you're going to have a subconscious projection that other people are going to be operating with integrity towards you. And what ends up happening? You end up trusting them, and then your trust gets betrayed. And yes, there is a degree of resentment towards the person who betrayed your trust, but there's also a degree of resentment towards yourself for trusting him in the first place. And you start to punish yourself. And also, what happens is you begin to doubt your discernment. You begin to doubt yourself and your ability to discern. So every choice that you make that has a disappointing outcome in your life has had this impact on you where you're like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I trust my decision-making skills. I don't know if I trust myself. Who can I trust? And if you're feeling like you can't trust yourself, then you're feeling like you can't trust others. And it's not because of other people. It's because you don't feel like you can trust yourself. And that plays in with discernment. And I'm not saying it's bad to trust. I'm not saying that you shouldn't trust. I'm saying that we want to reclaim any power that you've lost in those decisions that you made with a disappointing outcome that have resulted in you questioning your ability to trust. Because you have your inner compass, and your inner compass will always point you north. But are you listening to it? Are you listening to it, or are you doubting your compass because of energy drain from the past? And I didn't say bad decisions. Notice that I didn't say bad decisions made because no decision you make is a bad decision. You may have had a disappointing outcome from it, but perhaps it served a higher purpose in your life, right? So thinking about trust, it's a beautiful thing to trust people, but if you don't trust with discernment, you're going to be more likely to end up being disappointed in yourself as a result of trusting if there's a disappointing outcome. Or you're going to have less faith in yourself, in your discernment, or in your trust moving forward. And it's going to often result in being hesitant or reluctant to make a choice, to make a decision, or to make a change. But speaking about the spiritual community, because yeah, there's a lot of false light in the spiritual community, but there's a lot of false light in everything. Every religion's been hijacked. So, of course, every spiritual community has been hijacked. Every worldview has been hijacked. Um, that don't, and this isn't my way of saying like it makes it all bad. That's my way of saying you have your good and your bad in everything. You know, you can take any worldview, it's going to have those gems of divine, but it's also going to have those components that have been hijacked, where whatever messages have been introduced in it that are really coming in from the invasive energies to distort the message. I mean, if you have a spiritual influencer and they've gotten really, really big, and I'm not saying this about all the big spiritual influencers, I'm just saying like if they have a really, 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 really massive audience, what are we going to do? We're going to tend to trust them more because they're big. But I invite you to use discernment regardless of the size of the person's audience, because the bigger the audience, the more attractive they're going to be to hijacker energies. Anytime someone has a wide audience, they're gonna be highly targeted by hijacking entities. How do you know with your own internal discernment system? And that's really what it comes down to, whether it's a person or a product or a message or a YouTube video or anything at all, or a doctor, anything at all, or a religion, anything at all, or even discerning for yourself what direction to go in. How do you know? How do you know? And the discernment's huge. And it comes down to your inner compass. So this is a practice that I really encourage you to get really comfortable with and use all the time. And I call it the yes, no. Yes, no. You want to get really clear on your yes and really clear on your no and how it feels in your body, how it feels in your soul, how it feels in your energy, and practice your yes, no. So I have found that the yes is always a rising sensation, and the no is always a sinking sensation. So if you ask a yes no question about anything at all, and tune in, okay, to your frequency, feel the answer, okay? So we're gonna do a practice round, right? I'm gonna ask, like, is my name Leah? I get a question, I get a feeling of like a raising. Well, just ask a question. You're just calibrating, like you're getting a sense of what is your inner feeling for no? What is your inner feeling for yes? I'm telling you, no feels sinking, yes feels rising. It might be different for you. What's yours feel like? It's the same as like tuning your pendulum, right? What does the pendulum do when it's a yes? What's it do when it's a no? You want to calibrate so that you know what your no is and what your yes is, but you want it in your inner compass and not an external object or item or anything. Your compass. That's what it is to be sovereign. You have your compass. Only you know what's best for you. Do you get a yes? Do you get a no? Are you struggling with a decision in life? Ask your yes, no, and trust it. The clearing that we're going to be doing today is going to be cleaning off your compass or your ability to trust your compass. Because just yes, no, just a yes, no. And I'd like to frame it as would it be in my greatest and highest? Yeah. Okay. So establish for yourself a strong yes, no inner compass, right? Find your inner compass, find your yes, no. Use it all the time. Use it so much that you can rely on it. You need to use it for the mundane things. You need to use it for simple and seemingly insignificant things because that's how you're going to build your trust in it. Maybe don't use it for big decisions until you've used it a lot for little things and it's consistently proven itself for you. So get your yes, no. That's discernment and then use it. Should I go to sleep to this YouTube video? Should I buy those grounding sheets? Um, should I use the supplement? There's a lot of ways that this can be applied. Yes, no. Anything with a yes, no, or would it be in my greatest and highest? Yes or no? Usually it's rising is yes, falling is no. That's me, and I've taught that to all of my students, and I've used that with my clients and students over the years, and it really works well. But if you have something different, that's cool. Just use what works for you. I'm getting a thumbs up. The other thing that you can use for discernment is, does it come with a feeling of anxiety? Does it have entity energy on it? If it is accompanied by that feeling of anxiousness or anxiety, like static, it means it's got entity energy on it. And I know you're like, well, Leah, what if a person has anxiousness on it? What if my job has anxious energy on it? What if everything has anxious energy on it? But it's just going to help you with your discernment to know if there is entity energy on it, if it feels anxious. When I first started my content creation, and must have been like 2015, I started Instagram, and there was this guy on Instagram who said that his third eye chakra was so activated that all you had to do was just look at him and it would activate your third eye chakra. And he was like, oh, worship me. My third eye is so activated that all you have to do is look at a picture of me and your third eye chakra is going to be activated. And these people are sending me all these crystals. I'm just telling you like everything that this guy would say and do, right? And he like messaged me too. I can't remember what the interaction was. So he had this massive crystal that he was so proud of that somebody had sent him. Just looking at him did not activate my third eye chakra. Looking at him gave me anxiety, and looking at that crystal gave me even more anxiety. And I was just like, I can't with this account. I can't with this guy. But it also made me feel really protective of the people out there who are just like believing him. Oh my God. And you know, that's a lot of my message. Like, oh my God, find your sovereignty and know the signs, know the discernment. These people are like, wow, I want to activate my third eye chakra. He's got it active. He's saying this, you know, claim. He's got this big crystal. Like, yeah. Entities can move into crystals. Absolutely, they can move into crystals. And they do. That's why you want to clear your crystals. And then crystals will catch entities to, you know, protect you too, so that the crystal won't, so the entity won't get you. But you know, think of your crystals as like a vacuum container. You want to empty it. Not to dishonor the crystal, but they do. They suck stuff up in an effort to protect you. But then you got to clean it out. Otherwise, you got entity pets in your crystals, and you don't want that. I'm going to check with the angels because I don't want to get too far off topic. So they are saying it's good that I talk about this though. And I think of Instagram as like fast food of social platforms. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they're all the fast food of social platforms. You're getting these little nuggets of information, nuggets of information, nuggets of information. Some of it may be really useful, like add little puzzle pieces to your ever unfolding puzzle, but definitely use discernment with those. The faster the content, the more discernment, because it's like, if you it's really easy for someone to kind of like bamboozle you or charm you in a short interaction, but like once you get to know them longer, then you start to see, right? That's why we don't marry someone after only knowing them for 2 days. Don't adopt a belief that you get from fast food social platform after 2 minutes of seeing it, but it sure can be convincing, right? Especially if it's aligning with your own. And even my stuff, use your discernment. Everything I share, use your discernment. Use your yes, no. And this brings us to a very important point that the angels wanted me to emphasize to you. And it is this: just because something is right for someone else does not mean it's right for you. Just because something's right for someone else doesn't mean it's right for you. To be more specific with that, the angels want me to point out is if you're in high frequency and there's a message or a product that's in a frequency that's not quite as high as you are, that can be helping people in a frequency very much below them. But if you're way out of that frequency already, like been there, done that, already evolved out of it, and you're already, you're not going to get as much out of it. I'm not saying it's going to maybe be harmful, but like, is it really going to serve you? And I'm not saying it doesn't have its place because everybody in the frequency below that can benefit from it. I had a client one time, she started seeing a therapist and she wanted me to do consciousness calibration on her therapist. Her therapist was like calibrating somewhere in like 300 on the Hawkins scale of consciousness. And my client was calibrating around 380. So her therapist calibrated much below her. She calibrated much higher than her therapist. And I asked her, do you feel like you're counseling your therapist? And she said, yes. How did you know? I was like, well, just because you calibrate higher than your therapist. And that doesn't mean that something that calibrates below you doesn't have something of benefit for you. It just means that while it may be super, super right for others who calibrate at or below that frequency, for those who calibrate above, you do want to seek out things that calibrate higher than you, at or above your frequency. That's going to support you, especially if your goal is to raise your frequency. You're not going to find as much benefit or healing benefit from it because something at 3 can't really heal something at 380 because it's lower frequency, right? We got to introduce higher frequency to lower frequency to elevate lower frequency, right? Uh, The angels are saying to keep going on that, but I don't remember, like, I don't know what else to talk about with that. They say just keep going. Just keep going with that one. Okay. So, okay. 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 I was like, what do you want me to keep going with? That's another discernment tool. Calibration. Calibrate. Calibrate. Especially if you're going to use it for your spiritual practice or your spiritual work, or even your videos, or a person. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, two more techniques for you. Technique three for discernment, calibrate it. Where's it at on the Hawkins scale of frequency? Test. If you use muscle testing or use pendulum, calibrate it. And or you can use your yes, no. Does this test at or above 200 on the Hawkins scale of consciousness? Familiarize yourself with the Hawkins scale. So well, you know what I'm talking about, but does it calibrate at 2 or above on the Hawkins scale? If you have a spiritual person who has a channel and they're like, I've talked to all the multidimensional, all of them everywhere, and that makes me very lofty and spiritually superior to everybody in the world. Okay, calibrate them. Calibrate them. This isn't me like trying to diss on YouTube people at all, because there's a lot of really excellent people out there who have really powerful messages, and they are getting them from high defined sources, and they're wonderful. Calibrate them. Check their calibration. Are they calibrating? But ideally, with the spiritual community, you want your message to be coming from someone who's above three. Okay, above three. 300. I mean, not three. 300. Above 300. And you can use kinesiology, muscle tests, like I'm going to calibrate this person. In fact, I had a client one time who contacted me and said, I calibrated you before I scheduled with you because they were very into kinesiology. They said, I calibrated you before I scheduled with you. And I did notice that after my sessions with you, my frequency calibrates higher. And I had read Power versus Force by Hawkins, but I hadn't calibrated myself. And I was like, and the person, my client told me that I calibrated in the 500s. And I was like, oh, wow. So I went and calibrated myself to see if I would get a consistent result. And I did. So I calibrate in the 500s. So low just means a lower calibration doesn't equal bad. It just equals underdeveloped, like haven't got there yet. They just haven't learned yet. They haven't developed their consciousness yet. So that is another way to use your discernment. Calibrate. Calibrate that freaking blue eyeball that they call the evil eye. Calibrate it. Use your yes, no. Use your discernment on that. Because I know that's like a super famous one that's infiltrated the spiritual community and everybody thinks it's actually protective, but it's telling you what it is in its name. And the frequency of the word that's attached to it is the frequency of what it is. It tells you what it is. That's another discernment. If something or someone tells you what they are, listen, because they will always tell you what they are. Okay, one more thing for discernment. Scan and visualization. Ask, what does this person like and look like in energy? What does this person look like in energy? I had an apprentice once who was a part of this membership. The woman who ran the membership, her whole thing was women owning and celebrating their sexuality and their sexual energy and reclaiming that and embodying that and unapologetically. So it sounds good on the surface, doesn't it? Right? Like, yeah, it's our energy. We should reclaim it. We should own it. We should be comfortable with it. Like, that's ours. Like, yeah, like power to the woman. Woo. Of course, we want to like get on board with that. But I felt something on her and I detected something on her because my apprentice was like, check this woman out. She's really awesome. Like, I want to share it with you, right? She's like, I'm a part of her membership and it's all this and it's all that. And I'm like, okay. So I check out her website and I get this weird feeling from this woman who's thing, membership thing. And then I scan her in energy And it was the most massive succubus I've ever seen. I was like, whoa. And she had my apprentice. Of course, she had my apprentice. My apprentice was trying to like recruit me into it. I was all, I just told my apprentice, I said, I would like for you to do an exercise. I would like for you to scan her in energy and tell me what you see. Because I'm not going to tell my apprentice, hey, this membership, this lady that you love so much and that you're so inspired by and you're super into has got a massive entity on her. I didn't want to tell her that, and I wasn't going to tell her that. What I told her instead was scan her in energy and tell me what your findings are. And she did. And she saw it. But at least I'm not the one delivering the bad news. But that's just a good way of discernment. If you're ever unsure about anybody, ask the question, what do they look like in energy? And you'll see it. You'll see it. Or ask your angels to show you what they look like in energy. Or just trust your yes, no. That just makes it simple. The angels don't complicate. The divine doesn't complicate. Why would they? That's why everything I teach is really just simple. The divine doesn't complicate. Why would it? If there's complication, oh, there's another opportunity for discernment. If it's some big, long, crazy, complicated whole this, all those things, well, that's just a billion opportunities for hijacking. There's just a billion opportunities for Trojan horses. That's just a billion opportunities for invasives or entities to come in and mess with it. The more complicated something is, the more opportunity there is for it to be hijacked by invasive energies, entities, attachments. The simpler something is. Remember Jesus? He had one message. He kept it super simple. It doesn't get more simple than that. Just love. Just love. Just love. Love's the highest frequency. You introduce high frequency to low frequency, what's it going to do? It's going to transmute, evolve, and elevate that low frequency. So you can love anything to transform it. Not romantic love, but that divine love. The divine love. You want to heal anything, just give it love. It'll transmute that frequency, elevate that frequency. It doesn't get more simple than that. Love. But we are evolving at a really rapid pace right now due to the energies that are coming in at this time. And so the more you can consciously connect to your energetic body and interact with your energetic body, the more that you can amplify your progress exponentially. And that's what my message is, as you know. That's my message. And that's why I try not to complicate my things. But sometimes those of us who are well-meaning will try to just like overgive because, we want to give you as much as we possibly can, and that can feel complicated too. So I try not to overcomplicate. And the angels do always introduce simplicity as much as possible. And that's why my techniques are just try to keep them simple. Speaking of, let's go ahead and do our simple technique for clearing our compass. We're clearing our compass. Okay. So your discernment compass. Okay, they're saying it goes back to what I was discussing with you about all those times that we made a decision with a disappointing outcome where we stopped trusting ourselves because of the choice that we made that didn't have the outcome we wanted. So we stopped trusting ourselves. That's where discernment comes in, right? Okay, our discernment becomes tarnished. We don't trust we don't trust our own discernment. You should never trust anybody's energy over your own or anybody's anything over your own, anybody's compass over your compass. Never trust anybody's compass over your compass. I don't care if it's a doctor or a freaking religious leader or a person with all the best credentials. Always trust your own compass. So, first, all that energy that may be out in the world from all of those choices that you made that you felt disappointed by, that have adversely affected your ability to trust your own inner compass. Clearing all that energy. Angels, please go and get all my energy back from all those disappointing outcomes, from all those choices that I've made that's affecting my trust and my discernment. Claim all that energy. Bless it. and then give it to me. And you know that feeling when you're like, oh, my intuition told me no to, or told me to. I wish I would have listened. I wish I would have listened. And you get mad at yourself, right? Getting your energy back from that. So next time you listen, yeah, calling it back in. And then looking at your compass and cleaning it, shining it up. Give it a bath in some golden healing light. Calibrate the little dial. You want your compass, yours. Is anybody putting any beaming any energy towards your compass? You know, like, no, my compass is mine. Okay. I I feel like my compass grew as I was like telling you about that and I was doing all that things. Like it started off, my compass was small, but then I was telling you all these exercises and I'm doing it for my compass and it's growing now. It feels bigger now and it feels shinier now. And it's like not over to the side a little off of the true north and doing that like wiggly pointer arrow. It's like solid true north now. And it feels really good and I feel really solid in that. And it's going to help you feel more secure in who you are and the direction that you're going in too. So let's look at your compasses. Look at your compass. What's it look like? Put some healing energy into your compass. Wash your compass. If you feel like you want to take it apart, open it up. Adjust your, do you want to change out your arrow, upgrade your arrow? Do you need to take it apart and clean it out? Upgrade your compass. Sometimes when I go like this, that means their angels are offering, their contribution. Sometimes our compass isn't even our compass. It's something that's been given to us. Yeah. In the case of parents who have their children's life trajectory all planned out for them, here's your compass. No, it's not the child's compass. It's the compass the parents gave the child. That's not their compass. It's not your compass if you're living your life for others either. It's okay. It's okay if we're putting them out. It's okay. Just I release any compasses I'm putting out on any of my kids. And I examine my compass to see if it's been given to me or programmed or whatever. No, this find your compass that's yours. Yeah. And ask your angels to bless your compass and charge your compass. That's one of the ways that you can be divinely directed and protected from your angels. Is ask them to bless your compass, your true north compass. Help it let it guide you in the direction of your greatest and your highest. Yeah. And and remembering these discernment practices in all things and any or all of the techniques that I shared with you, pick one or play with all of them or come up with your own, but use them every day and even in insignificant ways so that you can build your confidence in them, so you can trust them, so you can trust yourself, so that when you use them for big life choices, you can feel comfortable and solid that you're getting good information that's going to, right? And you're not going to doubt yourself. You're going to be really solid in your decision making. Um, Whenever I do any healing approach, I should always lead with that because it just makes the whole thing way easier. So, angels, please clear any entities and attachments that are messing with my inner compass. They're saying it's okay though, because a lot of times until we do all of this work on it, it's not really going to flesh them out. It's like if you have something and there's spiders living inside, you're not going to know until you clean off the outside and open it up, right? And then, there you go. I'm surprised my compass wasn't in worse shape, but I'm not really surprised that my compass wasn't in worse shape because I just do whatever the F I want to do in life, even if it's freaking stupid, even if it's freaking crazy. I have fallen on my face. I have face planted over and over and over and over and over and over and over in my life and all my relationship choices or my moves or whatever. And I just pick myself up and I just forge on ahead because I got my compass and I just trust if I face plant, I was supposed to face plant. I'm thankful for all my face plants. Because I couldn't show up today and help you, which is my true north, is to help you with your true north. Wouldn't have much to offer for you in your true north had I not done all my phase plants. You know, what is my definition of discernment? My definition of discernment, because I never said it and I'll say it now. My definition of discernment is using the techniques that you have to stay true to your inner compass to identify what you can trust safely. And just because something's right for someone else doesn't mean it's right for you. So a person may be trustworthy, they may be motivated in integrity, but it still may not be right for you. It still may not be right for you. So that's where discernment also helps. Y'all, this is a good topic for all of us, isn't it? Because we're all searching. We're all always searching. But if we know our true north, it's gonna help us in our search, right? We're all always searching. But if you're solid in your true north, then at least you're gonna know what's gonna support you in that search. The messages or the methods that you need most. And let's just take a moment for Mother Mary because I found her at the thrift store and I bought her and I brought her home with me and I love her and I wanted to share her with you guys. So I put her there today. Yeah, I work a lot with Mother Mary. She's one of my guides or she's one of my peeps. Yeah. Yeah, that's Mother Mary. Yeah. I was like, so I brought her home and here she is. And now she's here for you too. I love you and I will be seeing you next week. Love you. Bye.